this is 365801 and this is day 13 of the 25 days of manga. As I've mentioned before, I am just doing mood reading, which means I'm going to read whatever I kind of am in the mood for, something that I really want to read there and then. And if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And this is one of the works that I'm not sure actually fits in any of the categories that are available or that I have left. It could be gift giving, or it could just be my free choice in the middle. And that's because there is some gifts being given. They're just not very nice gifts, like a sanitary pad for when you soil your pants because you're overly excited. Which is not really a nice gift to receive, but is one that is received. So it could be gift giving, but it might just be, like a story that doesn't quite fit in most of the categories. I have collected some of these chapters or episodes they're called, on Leshin, the website, over the past year and a half. Whenever there are free coins available, I will use them up and I'll buy a few episodes, of A Man of Virtue. This is the work that I'm talking about today. And it's one that I have just been slowly accumulating. So now I've kind of got about 40% of the whole story. And that's what I read today. So I haven't read the whole story. I haven't finished the whole story. I will continue to collect as and when there are some coins or gifts, things like that, or if the mood strikes me and I finally cave and just buy the rest of the whole series, because I am really enjoying it. I had such fun today reading this. It was just really great. I loved it, and I do want to read the rest of it, so it's one of those delayed gratification. Just hold back, don't worry, you'll get some free gifts and some coins, and you'll spend some of your own coins, and you'll eventually get round, and you'll probably reread it a couple of times, and I think that's fine for this work. It's one that I've read, like the first 9 episodes were free, and then I kind of got excited, so I bought a few, and then I was like, no, don't, you're gonna use up all your coins, you won't have any for Love is an Illusion, which is like the main one that I purchase on Leshin every 10 days. So yeah, I think A Man of Virtue is still being released. The main story has been completed, and then there's some extra side stories that are still being released just now, so it is kind of still ongoing but also kind of complete. And I'm looking forward to eventually getting through them all, because I do think this is going to be a nice story. Eventually, when it finishes, I will probably enjoy it. So what is the story? It starts off with 2 gentlemen who work in the same company. They are both managers in the same sales department in the same company, but one of them is much more successful. That's not to say he isn't hardworking, he is, but the other gentleman is hardworking as well, but never seems to gain the same recognition or the same position. So he's always coming in second, and that is the 2 gentlemen is Nam Jinwoo, who comes in second, to Ma Sang Tai. My pronunciation is probably really bad. This is obviously a Korean webcomic, so the names are Korean, and I don't know Korean, so it is, as I've mentioned, very sexual. It's exciting that way. I was really happy that there's some plot, but also a lot of sex, and there's a reason for that, and the main reason is that poor Nam Jinwoo ended up getting quite drunk one night and being really annoyed with Ma Sang Tai. He ends up berating a kind of city deity shrine type statue and throws up all over it. And in that respect, he's now kind of cursed, and he's cursed in a way that sounds actually horrendous, and that he's perpetually horny, but because he can see in his mind, and almost to an extent that it becomes real, the subconscious sexual fantasies of Ma Sang Tai. So Nam Jinwoo has to go into work every day and be bombarded with these images of sex, and he's the one that's being played with. So I think that's kind of a huge clue there as to how Ma Sang-tai actually feels about him, because it is subconscious fantasies. So it's quite fun, the fact that as the reader you're like, yeah guys, you obviously, should be together, but he's very sure that he's straight. He has a girlfriend. Ma Sang-tai is very clear that he is gay, and he's also very sadistic. He's into S&M, he's into bondage, and so the play is quite graphic, very sexual, explicit content. So if you're not into that, steer clear, and if you are, oh boy, are you in for some good treats. It's just so good. It's quite interesting though, when we are first introduced to Ma Sang-tai, he just kind of comes across as your typical awful semi type character, very sadistic, very much the S in the S&M, very much about playing with Nam Jin-woo. He views him purely as a toy, like something, a hobby. He actually explicitly says it's his hobby to mess with him, as he always wants to belittle him or put him down, and just like keep him in that position where he is upset. He takes great pleasure in this. He really does want to make him feel awful, and I just think it's such a sad thing. When he first was introduced, instantly I was like, oh no, he's a wrong'un. But as you get to know him more, and you get to know the history of the two of them, you get to find out a lot more about his background and his family, and the fact that he was always pushed to be perfect and had to be perfect, and was actually very envious of Nam Jin-woo. It turns out that they were in school together when they met. He kind of took Nam Jin-woo's place as the sort of valedictorian, the person who is the best in the class, the top of the class, and started winning awards and entering competitions, and coming first every time. And so Nam Jin-woo, who had previously been the best and had entered all these competitions, was now consistently coming in second to this person, always finding out that his girlfriends were being taken, or the girls that he liked actually liked him instead. Oh, lots of things like that. Just seems really sad that he was doing it all on purpose. But then as you get to know more about the two of them, you get to know more about his motivations and little interactions you find out with flashbacks about how they actually got on together and what kind of relationship they've had in the past and how it's developed and changed. It does make you know a little bit more about Nam Jin-woo as well. He's kind of a sweet person, very easy, a bit of a pushover, very sociable, or at least he was when he was in school, very sociable, life and soul of the party, the kind of person that's always in the centre, that knows everyone, that gets on with everyone, and that tries his best and works hard, and is just like a good guy all round. And yet when you meet him at the start, he has this sort of downtroddenness to him, because he's had to endure all of Ma Sang-tai's awfulness for such a long time that it's just worn him down. But that's the actual plot of it, how they get together. So it sounds like there's a lot more to it. There is so much porn in this. The two of them together, and all of the scenes of them, the bondage scenes of the fantasies, and the actual scenes of them together is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. I really enjoy the fact that this is a sexual story, but that there is an interesting plot. Like I've said previously, I do like supernatural stories, I do like fantasy stories, and I like it when there's an element of the modern day with the supernatural, a sort of slice of life, everyday kind of thing, but also there's something crazy going on. I love those kinds of stories, and this is it, with a huge slice of sex on the side. There are a couple of other characters as well that are really fun to be around. But these are the two main ones, and I love them. Jinwoo and Sangtae, I'm looking forward to finding out how they actually get together. I have, as I said, only done about 40% of the story, and I will continue to read this. I'm looking forward to it. I might cave and buy it the rest of it at some point, but I'm holding back just now. I'm like, do it in the new year. Do like a 2021 time when you need something. You're like, I'm gonna get it then, because it is great. I really, really enjoyed A Man of Virtue. I don't know which one is supposed to be the Man of Virtue. They're both brilliant, and I love seeing them together, and I love seeing tender moments with them, because my heart melts. Along with all of the smexy stuff. There's a lot of smexy stuff. So yeah, that is probably, I don't know, is it gift giving or is it just going to be my free square? I haven't quite decided yet. You'll see on my thumbnail. So yeah, that is what I read today on the 13th. If you have read A Man of Virtue, don't spoil it, but did you like it? What's your best bit so far? And also, are there any other webtoons from Lesin that I should be reading? Because as I've said, Love is an Illusion is like my big thing for Lesin. And I've read quite a lot on their Wait Until Free service, which is good. But yeah, I'm enjoying that as a webtoon. And I would like to read more webtoons. So any recommendations would be gratefully received. So yeah, my recommendation is definitely Man of Virtue. It's really good. If you're wanting those smexy times, it's really fun so far. We'll see how it goes though. I'm looking forward to finishing it when I do. I will see you in the next one. And remember, every day is a BL day. Bye.